Yo, it's the Bootleg Kev Podcast with special guest, my guy, man, Armenian.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me, bro.
All good, man. So, for people who don't know who you are, man, you've been killing shit for a long time. You, a few years ago, you were doing a song every week?
That's right. That's when I met you, right?
Right.
Yeah, I did the
Armenian
series.
Mondays?
Yeah, Meme Mondays. That's
Right.
what I called it. So, you know how people consume music nowadays,
Of
man.
course.
I felt like something wasn't working for me. You know what I'm saying? I kept dropping projects. You know, you work on a project for a fucking year, 6 months, and then people are over it in like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So I had to do something to make my presence felt more. And so I did this series. I called it Mean Mondays, 52 songs in 52 weeks for the whole year. Actually, I continued past the year, another like 3 months. So
Oh,
it was
wow.
really like 64 or something. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ.
But what that did is it just created this online presence. You know what I'm saying? A lot of doors open. A lot of people started reaching out. Kind of got the ball rolling to where
Right.
we at now, you know?
Talk about, obviously, because you've been on tours recently with Chris Webby and
Yep.
Berner.
Berner.
And you're kind of like, are you the biggest Armenian rapper?
For sure.
For sure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I could probably say that. Yeah, I'm definitely, you know, the first for my community to do it on this level. You know what I'm saying? There's always been, you know, kids on the street level trying to do it. Even when I started like over 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying? But like nobody really stuck to it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Was it like hard to get embraced by your community, or was that the
Sure.
easy part?
no, I mean in the beginning it was like both Armenians and non-Armenians are like, why is this Armenian guy
right.
rapping? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just so different. But you know, the whole I feel like hip hop as a whole just kind of been evolving and more accepting of different ethnicities and stuff. So like, yeah, then I became that guy in my community. You know what I'm saying? And they
Yeah.
embraced me. And also like when they heard me, they're like, okay, this guy's not like he can really rap. Like this is a real hip hop
you're not-
artist.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I'm not doing it for Armenians or you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just trying to compete with
You're
everybody.
just a dope rapper who happens to be Armenian.
Be Armenian, you know what I'm saying? And so then they really embraced me. And since then, like my people been having my back. Like the Armenian community is pretty big. Like of course we are in LA, but like worldwide, they fuck with me just off the strength of that. Before these tours we just
Right, right,
mentioned,
right, right.
like I've been touring, you know, small runs in like Europe, Canada, East to West Coast, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to my people, you know?
I know that you're a big. I know you. So you're a huge Nas fan, huge Eminem guy.
Yep.
You put out a song kind of as an homage to Nas,
Yeah.
right?
To both of them. So
To Nas and Eminem.
yeah.
And you told me recently that Nas heard the song.
Yeah.
Talk
I
about.
haven't really told this to anybody,
Yes,
but
tell the story, man.
so what happened was this was 2016. So
when you put the song out,
when I put this mixtape out, so this was like a year, like things were just not going well. You know what I'm saying? It was right before I did the whole Me Mondays thing,
right?
And just like you know, just being a fan, I just wanted to rap over those beats. So I just did a mixtape called Nas and Em. It was all their beats. You know what I'm saying? But then one specific song I called it "Letter to the King," which was like an actual tribute. You know what I'm saying? Like the last song on the tape. First verse I'm talking to Nas, second verse I'm talking to M, and I did it over the Renegade beat.
Oh, fire. Okay.
So and the song came out fire, like a lot of like Two Dope Boys and
Right.
hip hops, like everybody posted about it, like yo, this shit is incredible, you know what I mean? So then we decided to fucking go to Queensbridge and go into Detroit and actually shoot a video for it and kind of go all out with it, you know what I'm saying? And that was that. So that was in 2016, like end of 2016, and then recently, just like last year, so like a good 3 years later, I get a FaceTime out of nowhere and it's fucking Nas. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the reason I did Nas and M, by the way, is because, like, I mean, they were my favorite rappers, like, kind of growing up. And when I started doing this, you know, so
Right.
I always say, like, if I had to pick, my two biggest influences would be Nas and M. Of course, there's more, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, and it was fucking Nas, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, bro, I just heard that song. I'm like, which song? In that moment, because it's been like a few years,
Right.
I didn't realize, and I'm all excited, like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, Nas calling me. And he's like, yo, the one you did for me and M, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm so happy you finally heard it. He's like, nah, that shit did something to me, bro. You know what I mean? And he touched his, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Touching his chest. And then we just kind of like chopped it up about what I got going on. I'm working on a solo project with Scott Storch and this and that. And 3 days later, we was in the studio. You know what I'm saying?
So you and Nas, you went from making a whole project dedicated partly to Nas to getting in the studio with him.
Yeah, crazy.
And what was that like being in the studio with him?
Happiest day of my life.
Did you guys cut a record together?
We did. And the only reason I'm saying this because I kind of posted on social media already, but I would want to come back when we drop the record and really talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't really talked about this. I kind of avoid this question, but yes, we have a song and it's fucking crazy.
What was
the
like?
reason? The reason I say it's the happiest day of my life is not just because I was in the studio with Nas, but the song came out so perfect. You know what I'm saying?
It was fire.
Like as far as like what I would envision that I would want to do with Nas, it just
that's the important
came
part.
Together.
You could have did a song with Nas and it could have been,
that's what I'm saying,
shit.
because also I wasn't ready for it. It's not like I expected it and I had a record ready and I was like, yo, get on this. You know what I'm saying? It was like 3 days later. And then, you know, since I was working with Scott, like Scott, he does everything on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't like send you a bunch of beats and you pick from it. Like you go into the session, it starts with a conversation, like what kind of record you want to do. And then he starts making the beat on the spot, you know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing. So I went to the studio with Scott at Scott's house maybe a couple hours before Nas came. Like Nas said he'll be there like, let's say 5 o'clock.
Right.
So I went to Scott's like at 2 or 3 and we fucking created the beat. But he was in like, honestly, I never seen Scott that excited either. You know what I'm saying? Like he's obviously worked with everybody, but he was fucking excited. So he fucking murdered it in like 20 minutes. And I started kind of brainstorming ideas. By the time Nas came, I felt like comfortable. Like, okay, we got something. You know
so you recorded this at Scott Storch's house?
Yep. Yeah,
hey, what your relationship with Scott Storch, how did that start?
Kind of through Berner, Be Real, Steve Lobel. So, you know, I'm dropping an album with Berner like tonight.
Right.
Actually, if this airs, it's probably...
It'll be out already.
It'll be out. So I got a collab album with Berner. It's called The Warning. On God was the first single with Dave East. You know, that's kind of like a family. I've been knowing Steve Lobel for a long time. And already like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I went in and did one song with Scott. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, and that was amazing. That was through Steve Lobel. That was our introduction, you know what I'm saying? And then when I linked with Be Real and I linked with Berner, and they're kind of like a family, and their business partners all like Armenian.
Right.
Not all, but they have like some Armenian business partners.
Dispensaries.
And they were all like, yo, you know, Army, we've been your biggest fucking fan for so many years. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, we've been following you from the beginning. They started telling me all the first shit that I did. And like, so, you know, they kind of were like the unofficial stamp, you know what I'm saying, to Berner. Be Real was already like, you know, really like bigging me up. So that's kind of how I got reintroduced to Scott. Like, yo, this is not just some independent rapper trying to, like, he's really that dude in our community.
Right.
And Scott was already fucking with it. So then we linked back together and we ended up working on a whole project, which we still working on, but we like 80, I was gonna say 90% done.
A whole project with Berner and a whole project with Scott Storch.
I'm blessed, bro.
Song with Nas.
Fucking blessed, bro.
I know you got a lot of other big features that you're sitting on.
I'm fucking blessed, bro. A lot of doors been opening for me lately. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of big features. Yo, it's crazy because like I do feel like when I think of you, like I think of like a lyrical, you know, beast, right? Like,
yeah. But
I know some of the features that you're sitting on are with rappers that might be a little unexpected. Yeah. Nas, you would expect.
Absolutely.
But
so I'll tell you like this, like when I did that Me Mondays thing and I dropped like all these songs, like you said, I always been like a spitter. I always been a good like MC, like lyricist. That was always my thing. When I started rapping, I just want to out rap everybody. Right. God forbid anybody outshines me on the track, out rap. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then I kind of turned into more of a real artist. You know what I'm saying? Like I always made dope hip hop records. I feel I have a lot of gems from even back in the day. But what that Me Mondays thing did is like it sharpened my sword and like I became like just a better songwriter, you know what I'm saying? Because now I'm forced, because I was creating in real time. It's not like I was sitting on 40 songs and I was creating in real time. You were doing a new
song every week.
I was literally doing it because I thought of the concept like in December of like 20, whatever it was. And then in January, I started, you know what I'm saying? And so sometimes Sunday night, I'm still in there trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Finishing up the song.
Yeah. And what it did is kind of, you know, I was able to let go of like over rapping and like just, you know what I'm saying?
You can over rap.
You could definitely over rap, bro. A lot of lyricists do that, especially when the beat's a little bit, you know.
Yo, I always say this. You know there is a lot of like, I do feel like there's with that genre of hip hop, it can go left, man. There's like a such thing as like being too lyrical.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm kind of like sometimes I'm not really a fan of that no more. If that makes any sense.
I'm on it,
comes
bro.
From a lyricist. You know what I'm saying? Like, by the way, there's people like at the door. I don't know if anyone can let them in. They keep calling me. I'm sorry.
LaRock, you want to go grab him? And this camera just shut off, LaRock. We can edit this out.
Okay.
Oh, it's still running. Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, you could definitely be over lyrical. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
no,
I don't know. It becomes kind of like a backpack underground, almost corny kind of thing when you're trying too hard. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it's almost like acting. You'll see certain actors like overacting. You'll be like, yo, man, it's like it's kind of whack. Like,
absolutely.
Same thing with rapping. Like, I do feel like, you know, without saying anyone's names, one of my friends just started managing an artist, and this artist is from my hometown and is technically a really good rapper.
Right.
Like, yeah, you can rap, but your music is really hard to listen to.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to.
Both things both things should be true, right? Like, you should be a good rapper, but you also want to be listenable.
I always say, like, the greats were always amazing rappers.
Of course.
This era, previous eras, the greats, the goats, like, they can fucking rap, but it's all about the music at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the music just has become better. And then another thing is working with Scott Storch. Like, he just makes big records. Like, even when you listen to the Nas one, it's hip hop as fuck, but like, it's a fucking record. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And I think that brought the best out of me too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just the best songwriting. Even if you listen to this project with Berner, like, I'm fucking rapping my ass off on there, but it's fucking records on there. You know what I'm saying? And we talking about hustling, and, you know, it's just like a relatable. You know, it's just not like lyrical miracle bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say, because I remember coming up as a kid, like, I used to there was like an era in my hip hop life where I would like put my nose up to anything that wasn't like super fucking boom bap or like,
yeah.
I had
too.
Like, yeah, like, you remember, you know, I like those hip hop snobs, I would call them.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't Talib Kweli or fucking,
right.
You know, or Immortal Technique or some shit. Like, man, that shit ain't real rap.
Shout out to Immortal Technique, by the way, too. Yeah, man, I agree. I was like that too. I think we had a similar.
I had a little
like,
era.
We had a similar hip hop kind of upbringing.
Yeah, you and I like connect a lot on the type of shit we were listening to.
I
when
can
we were
see
growing
that.
up.
Like, I watch you do interviews and shit, and the things you say, I'm like, I used to be like that too. You know what I'm saying? But like, that's the thing though. Hip hop has evolved, and like, artists have evolved, and I've evolved too. You know what I'm saying? And it's still about hip hop and content, and you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm all about, but fucking good music, you know what I'm saying?
Little known fact about Armenian, used to be a pharmacist.
Yes.
Now, aren't you always a pharmacist?
Yeah, I'm a pharmacist. I'm a licensed pharmacist right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm just not working.
You're not an
as
active
a
pharmacist.
I own a couple pharmacies at this point, you know what I'm saying? So what I did is, I guess that's kind of like an Armenian immigrant type of thing, you know what I mean? Like how we raised a lot of immigrants.
Now, let me ask you this: is the pharmacist field, is that something that a lot of Armenians get into?
No, I mean, yes and no, but I'm saying, like, just to go into school,
right?
Got to be a doctor, lawyer, that kind of upbringing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of immigrant communities can relate. Like, you know, your parents come from these different countries where they usually like fled from or whatever, and come to America for like a better life, or Europe or whatever, you know, to the Western world. And then it gets pounded into your head when you're a kid, like, you know, you got to go to school, even though they never went to school, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I was brought up, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I grew up in Amsterdam. I don't know if you knew that. Like, I was born in LA. I was born in LA. I grew up in Amsterdam first 18 years of my life, and then I moved back to LA.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm like all multicultural, you know what I'm saying? And over there, that's another thing. Like, if you live in a country like the Netherlands, like, everybody goes to college. Like, it's not like America where, like, I don't know, 30% goes to college. I'm just throwing a number out. Over there, it's probably like 80, 90% of kids go. That's just part of, I don't know, society. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I was kind of raised with that mentality, even though I'm fucking into music, and I started doing music a little bit in like final years of high school. Then I moved to LA, really wanted to do music, but I enrolled in college to even move to LA. Like, I used school to kind of like a tool to move here. You know what I'm saying? Living off financial aid and loans.
Was your family in Amsterdam when you moved back to LA?
Yeah, so I grew up with my mom and my brother. Like, my pops passed when I was only one. So my brother, myself and my brother, we moved out here, and then my mom obviously followed. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up going to college, UCLA, and then in school, I was always kind of interested in like medical shit. You know what I mean? If I were to do, even though I know it doesn't make any sense, like it wouldn't help me in my music career at all.
But you know that there's always,
like, I didn't really know what I'm doing.
Like, I mean, you could always depend on a medical degree because that shit ain't going away.
For sure. And then, just being, like I said, like I'm the first in my community to do this music thing too. So there was like no guidance, like at all. You know what I'm saying? Like
you're just learning.
I didn't have an older homie that had a cousin that was, I don't know, an A&R you know what I mean? Or like someone that was Dr. Dre's cousin or something. Like I had no ties, you know what I'm saying? So we were just young kids trying to figure it out. We meaning me and my, you know what I mean, team. And meanwhile, I'm going to school, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up going to pharmacy school. Really, I was thinking of going to medical school. And then I'm like, yo, I can't be a fucking doctor and trying to rap, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of took
bandwidth.
I kind of took the next best thing, you know what I mean? But it wasn't until I was working as a pharmacist, I'm like, yo, I ain't trying to do this, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
but I'm sure like having that money coming in also probably helps with
at
first the dream.
Yeah, at first that's what I did. Like I worked a couple years and like whatever money I could make, I would, let's shoot this video, let's do this, let's do that. And then we got to a level where my time and my dedication was more important than a little bit of money. Cause you make a little bit of money, but it's not as crazy as people think, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you live in LA. If you run your own business, that's different. But if you're just working at like a Rite Aid or a CVS like I was doing, yeah, you make good living, like a decent.
So you have your own pharmacies?
So now we got Vantana Pharmacy in Tarzana. So I'm like a partner in 2 pharmacies that I just kind of like, it's under my license and I overlook it, but I don't, you know what I mean? I don't work there.
That's interesting. Dang.
It's also being an independent artist, man. You got to find ways to make money. And, we did a merch thing. We got a store.
Yeah, you got the Pentagon in Glendale?
Pentagon, LA. Pentagon Records is our label, so the store is the Pentagon, LA. In Glendale, we started the clothing line. And then, these are all ways of just, like, expanding, you know what I mean, the hustle while working on the main thing. You know what I'm saying?
I want you to talk about, because before I moved to LA, I didn't really know any Armenian people besides Vic One, because I've known Vic for a long, long time.
Hell yeah, me too. Shout out Vic.
And moving to LA, like I live in Burbank, the Glendale Burbank area.
Oh yeah, you live among all the Armenians.
Yeah, all my neighbors are Armenian.
Facts.
And my God, if y'all don't love you some nice cars.
Yeah, man.
You drive down Glen Oaks, man, it's like G-Wagons and Beamers and Benzes, boy.
Armenians, boy, like a lot of times I meet people and like, yo, Armenians got money. And it's like Armenians come from a third world fucking country, but we make money. You know what I'm saying? Like they come really like to America to live the American dream. And whether it's like the school route or the hustle route, because we kind of heavy in both, you know what I'm saying?
Also, I feel like circulating the dollar in the community, I've noticed. You know what I mean? Keeping that dollar in your own community.
Specifically like the newer generation, like us and, you know what I mean? That's what we focused on, like just building each other up, supporting. And I'm sitting here because of like I said, like Berner and Be Real and them, they had like Armenian business partners and they were like, yo, you that dude for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, we kind of linked up and the resources became that much bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I wanted to ask you just because I do feel like there's, when it comes to the Armenian community, I want some education on what's going on right now. I know there's there's like a war going on.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce the name of the other.
Azerbaijan, yeah.
Yeah. Can you kind of just educate people what's going on there? Because I actually posted something on Instagram.
Which we appreciate.
So when I got Jack last week, the witness was this little Armenian kid at Wingstop, and he was like, yo, they look like they were Armenian. So I posted 2 Armenian or Middle Eastern people, right?
Motherfuckers got at you.
And some guy DM'd me. Yeah. Respectfully, only one guy DM'd me. Respectfully, though. And he was like, hey, you should reword that because people might think you're... So I did reword it.
Right.
But I didn't mean any like malice.
No,
and I obviously don't know what's going on. But he like, people might think you're an agent of whatever that is. Say that again.
Azerbaijan, yeah.
Right. So
it's like a little country, right next to like Turkey. We was all part of the Soviet Union before. But the history goes far, so I'll try to say it real quick. But if you heard of the Armenian genocide, which is not Azerbaijan, but that's Turkey. So the modern day Turkey at the time, it was the
I wanted to get into that too, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand.
It's all kind of interconnected.
Okay,
there was an Armenian genocide in 1915, so a little more of 100 years ago, where 1.5 million Armenians were massacred by Turkey. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing about it, the reason why we still protest and still talk about it, I started this whole movement about it, right, called Open Wounds, is because to this day it hasn't been recognized as a genocide. So basically, they just got away with killing 1.5 million people.
And history looks the other way.
And history looks the other way. And, you know, if you know the definition of genocide is like the planned extermination or the systematic extermination of a specific group of people. And that's what was happening, like the Holocaust of the Jews or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So to this day, it hasn't been recognized. So there's always tension between, you know, Turkey and Armenia, and Azerbaijan is like allies with Turkey, like they're kind of brother and sister country.
Okay.
And there's other governments like the United States that still haven't recognized either. Why? Because they're allies with Turkey too. Like America, we got army bases and things like that in Turkey because they have they have a perfect like entrance into the Middle East. You know what I mean? As far as like geographically. And America don't want to lose that, so we need that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of political things behind it, obviously. But, I mean, 48 or 49 individual states have recognized it. Most European countries have recognized it. I just saw
there a new state just recognized it. I think maybe Serge Tankian might have posted about it.
Oh, could be. Serge from System of a Down, he's like super, like he's a real activist.
He's
like
into this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of
System of a Down's probably my second favorite band ever.
For sure, and I kind of followed in their footsteps because we grew up on them, and they talked about the Armenian genocide and stuff in their music and stuff, and then that's kind of how I started doing that in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so going with all of that, there was always been like a tension between these countries. Now in Azerbaijan, there's a little piece of land in the middle of the country. Like all of it used to be Armenia before the genocide, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Then there's a little piece of country that's like 95% Armenian populated. But after the Soviet Union broke and everyone became independent, the Soviet Union decided to give that piece of country to Azerbaijan instead of, even though it was Armenian, that piece of land.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's been a war over that piece of land for like fucking years, decades now. But it's always like coming and going. The main issue now, these last few weeks, that it became a big thing because I guess it was a ceasefire and it's the middle of a pandemic and all that shit. But even though there was a ceasefire, they just broke it and they just attacked not only military targets but civilian targets, like out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And that was the whole thing now. Like, yo, what was happening? You know what I'm saying? So that's going on literally right now.
Going on right now.
Yeah, right now.
Damn.
You know, that part of the world is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to ask you, like, you know, I feel like, especially, you know, when you think of like Israel and Palestine, and it's almost like
it's that kind of
shit. It's like
shit.
if you met someone who was Turkish, right? It's like there's automatically just like
it's pretty sad because, you know, like I said, I grew up in Amsterdam. If you know anything about Netherlands and Europe, mad Turkish people. It's mad Middle Eastern people,
right?
But predominantly in like Holland, Germany, France, Turkish people. I grew up with mad Turkish people. I had Turkish friends.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like,
yeah,
that's kind of
personally, I did, but most Armenians, because they never really, you know, the only thing we grew up with learning about Turkey is they're the enemy, which is, I mean, look, in a newer generation, we don't really think like that anymore. You know
I feel like that's kind of the
Hate.
case. Yeah,
we don't feed hate anymore. You know what I'm saying? We actually blame countries like Azerbaijan and them for raising their kids like we the enemy for some reason.
So that country in
general, they literally have that, like mad clips was going around these last few weeks of like school and people teaching. You know what I'm saying?
So in that country, they're literally indoctrinating these kids to hate Armenian people.
Right. We don't do that, I like to say, as much anymore. But inside, I mean, that tension is always there for sure.
That's crazy.
I mean, think about it. If 1.5 million people were murdered, like a lot of our grandparents, their entire families got wiped out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But no one ever paid the price. So it's like a chip on your fucking shoulder.
This was 1918, right?
1915.
1915, okay.
To 17 or 18.
Damn, dude. Yeah, that's crazy. I saw that there's a movie that's coming out called The Promise with Christian Bale.
Yeah. That came out a couple years ago, but it's coming out on Netflix right now.
Okay, I saw it.
Actually, it should be, but I think it's this week. It's on Netflix now.
And that's about the genocide?
That's about the Armenian genocide, yep. That's the first time a big movie was made about it, too. We went to the premiere. Kim Kardashian was there. I got my picture.
You got your Kim picture?
You know what I'm saying? That shit went super viral. You post anything with Kim, you get mad hits for no reason.
Do you feel like the Kardashians are there for because obviously their dad was Armenian?
They are.
They are. Okay.
They always speak about it. The Armenian community loves them for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, just using your platform, and obviously their fucking platform is so big, they talk about it a lot. All of them.
Do you feel some sort of responsibility being like someone who grew up in Amsterdam, and obviously the hip hop community is such at least now I feel like it's like a safe place for everybody, I guess. You know, like
I mean, hip hop bring everybody together.
To try to like, you know, I guess as a leader of like your community, do you feel like any pressure to try to like bring people together or break down any sort of stereotypes people might have or like anything like that?
So that's a good question. Like I feel like I always talked about these type of issues because hip hop being like the voice of the voiceless, the voice of the people, just originally as a genre, me coming in from like a new, you know, ethnicity into the game, I had to like represent or tell the story of my people.
Yeah,
you know
honestly,
I
didn't know. I mean, honestly, I knew based because I was like, yo, your brand, your shirt, our wounds are still open.
Still open, yeah.
That that's how I figured out what was going on, and then we have some members of our staff at the station who are Armenian that kind of gave me up about the genocide, and I was like, damn, I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, that shit. I could probably say like I did a lot of damage because I just did one song about it. I always say it's really a song about crimes against humanity, but specifically, I'm talking about the Armenian genocide. It's called Open Wounds, and then we did these T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? With the Our Wounds Are Still Open. It just says Our Wounds Are Still Open, 1915. And, you know, we just did that to, like, I wore it in the video, and we had a few printed. It wasn't, like, a thing we thought of, you know what I mean? But then everyone started asking about those T-shirts, and every time I was wearing it, every single day, someone would stop me and say, yo, what does that mean? For some reason, it's really, like, a dope design, and it catches people's attention. And we realized, like, yo, this is, like, a tool to, like, raise awareness and educate people. Kind of in a way never been done. It's kind of like a dope, fresh, new way using hip-hop and fashion. So then we started printing those shirts and giving them to as many influencers as we could.
Yeah, man.
And like Game was definitely the first person. I mean, he lived in Glendale too. So
I was gonna say Game used to live in Glendale.
Yeah,
right?
so he been around Armenia, so he knew the struggle and he knew, so he embraced it right away. He posted it and then he jumped on a remix of the song. You know, what I mean? Shout out to Game. But then after that, so many people. You know, we got Cardi, we got Post, we got Method Man wearing it. We got DMX, we got.
As far as what's going on in your country right now, is there any way people can like? I guess I don't know. Is there any sort of way like people can help or?
Yeah, for sure.
Just spread awareness.
I always say there's like two ways you can help. Obviously, spread awareness. Like we'd love for other, you know, races and people.
I never even heard of that other country. That's what's crazy.
Right.
I never. It must be very small.
It's a small country. I mean, Armenia being small, I think Azerbaijan's even smaller, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So it's a super small country.
And it sucks because you guys are from the same part of the like.
The main thing about Armenians is we originally Christian, right? Mm-hmm. Armenians are actually the first Christian nation in the whole world, like officially adopted Christianity in like the year 301. You know what I mean? Like the first Christian nation in the world. Everyone surrounding it is like pretty extreme Muslim. It's Iran, it's Turkey. So it's always been
religion,
through
man.
History. It's always been a religious thing. Yeah.
Religion is a motherfucker, ain't it?
Sure.
That shit is crazy to think like that is like the.
It's crazy that's probably the reason of the most wars. And
I think at the root of them, probably all
of them,
like every single war.
That's wild, right?
There's religion wrapped up in there somewhere.
That's fucking wild.
It's fucking. Yeah. Are you a pretty religious guy?
I'm pretty. I mean, I'm definitely spiritual.
Spiritual. I think
I definitely consider myself like Christian.
You're Christian, okay?
I mean, the difference is, I guess, I am part of a church. I don't go every week or you know what I mean.
But you believe.
But I believe, I believe there's something controlling all of this,
That's wild, man. Shout out to you, man, for doing your thing and the album with Berner.
Joint album with Berner. It's called The Warning.
And you got big features on there. Styles P's on there. Dave East, Wiz.
Be Real. And my boy Chris Webby.
Shout out to Chris Webby, by the way.
My dog AD.
Shout out to AD.
And the little homie Franco Drew. That's all.
And also shout out to AD's Teeth, who need their own Instagram page.
Brand new. I remember when he got horses.
Yes. He got them chompers.
Yes, he do.
Shout out AD. He'll fuck up a corn on the cob. That's my friend. He's my boy. Yeah, every time I see him, I say the same.
That's my brother too. Shout out AD. Shout out all the features came really organically. Like, Berner, obviously, he has a super crazy network, but I made it a point that, like, I wasn't going to bother Berner because he's already given me a big look by doing this project with me.
Hell yeah.
So I was going to hit up Berner, like, yo, can we get this person? Can we get, you know what I'm saying? So all the features, basically, I got off my strength, obviously saying it's an Armenian and Berner album. I did hit him up for Dave East because I met Dave East first time when I was on tour with Berner in New York. We had a sold out SOBs, and I got off stage right before Berner was gonna go on. I walked into the green room, and yeah, it was Dave East, you know what I'm saying? And he just, just briefly we said what's up, but that's when it clicked. Like, we had that record On God, and I was like, yo, I need Dave East on there. So that's the only one. When I hit Berner, I'm like, yo, let's get Dave East on this one. He connected me, whatever. I went to the studio with him. Berner wasn't there, but all the other ones, even Wiz, Be Real was already my man, and then Styles P, which kind of happened in a really dope way because I didn't even know Styles P knew who the fuck I was. But apparently he was fucking with me, you know what I'm saying? And later in the studio, he said, Sway put me on to you, and you dead nice. And, when those legends, like the GOATs, show you love like that, like that means a lot to me.
Is this going to be because I feel like you've been kind of low-key the last couple of years.
I've been super
stacking up music.
Yeah.
Is this going to be like what kicks off the floodgate of a whole lot of Armenian?
This is it, baby. We here now.
Because we just had a discussion the other day. I was like, man, like now you gotta get on your campaign shit. Like, you can't just drop this and then go away for a year.
Of course. No, that's how we've been planning it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just been locked in.
Putting your ducks in a row.
The last couple years because everything needed to just elevate. You know what I'm saying? And like, just from the production to the everything down to the artwork to just that way the team's moving. Everything's been fucking amazing now. It's next level, and it's starting off with this Berner album. And, you've seen it, obviously. We dropped the first single, then we dropped the video.
No, it's been doing great, man. I've been looking at, I follow you on Spotify, so, your shit pops up all the time, and like, yo, you're killing it on Spotify, man.
Yeah, just fucking everything just got raised.
And the music is great. It's great, dude.
Appreciate it.
I think you're evolving as an artist. Because I remember when I don't remember who brought you onto the show at first. Was it Nico Blitz who set that up?
Nah, it was, remember who Tommy is?
Tommy.
He was on the camera.
Fucking
Shout out
Tommy.
My boy Tommy.
That fucking guy.
Because were you new in LA?
I just started.
Because he told me Bootleg Kev, and we're doing this freestyle thing, but I guess you hadn't really done any. Like, now it's obviously a thing with you and Head. Right. Head wasn't even part of it.
Nah, it was when it was me and Damage and Dre Sinatra.
Exactly. So I just pulled up. He called me like, pull up right now, unprepared, whatever. I'm thinking like I'm just spinning for like whatever. And then I realized, okay, this is like a real thing. You know what I'm saying? So I got to come back because I don't think it wasn't even being released on YouTube yet at the time. We just did it.
Yeah, I think what happened was, I don't remember how the freestyle came out, but I think you didn't feel good about the freestyle.
I didn't.
And I don't think we were, I think we had just started it, so we were like, you know what? Let's not even drop this one because I feel like you were.
And you hadn't dropped any before either.
It was super early. But yeah, no, we gotta do that.
So I was like, then when you and Head really started going in on it,
I might start a freestyle thing from here because we're not even allowed to have people come to the station anymore.
I know.
The station's shut down.
I know, fully.
So that's why I'm starting this shit.
I was already thinking like
I might start a little freestyle series
out of my Sway. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Usually I would do all of that now because it's album time and shit.
Let's do it. Let's do it next week.
Let's do it.
You got some shit ready?
I come through next week.
Yo, it's fire. But yeah, no.
Ready.
But no, I was gonna say, bro, like I do feel like when I first heard your shit, I was like, I think I heard a couple of songs that I just like looked up, right? And I was like, yo, this dude can rap.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. I just don't know if I'd listen to him. Like, because he's like fire. Like, yeah, he could rap. But I feel like.
No, I know already. That's how I felt personally.
Like, the stuff you've played me, like, and then just the stuff that's already come out. Like, I'm like, yo, this dude is like, you're growing into a dope artist, man. And so.
Appreciate it.
Just don't let up, man.
Appreciate it. Nah, man, we just getting started. Come on.
Armenian, the album is out officially now. With
Berner and Armenian. It's called The Warning. Like we said, Wiz Khalifa on there, Be Real, Styles P, Davies. The singles, couple singles that we dropped is already doing crazy. So
and if you need medicine, go to his pharmacy in Tarzana.
Yeah, but don't hit me,
Don't hit him for no weirdo shit. You better go in there with a prescription.
Never talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Because
yeah,
this
I'm
is
sorry.
hip-hop.
We just blew up his spot. Everyone go hit him like, yo, I need some of that lean.
You know what I'm saying? So all the rappers be hitting me.
Tell them to go fuck themselves.
Everybody chill.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Come grab some gear at the Pentagon.
Yeah, go get some gear at the Pentagon and And that's in Glendale. And yeah, get the album, man. Oh, and shout out to Odd Socks. Oh, we got to do the Odd Socks love. Yo, our new sponsor, Odd Socks.
Oh, yeah, I fuck with some good
Can we
socks.
get some, throw me some socks over here. Make sure you go to oddsocksofficial.com. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, look at these. These are the Walter Whites, the Breaking Bads.
Oh, shit, okay.
The Ninja Turtles. Anyway, oddsocksofficial.com, the most comfortable socks in the world. And use the keyword Bootleg Kev for 20% off.
Cold Stone Austin.
Did you say Cold Stone?
Austin.
It's Stone Cold.
Stone Cold Austin.
I'm like, are we
Hey,
talking
people
Cold,
don't know it's mad
Cold
early
Stone
right now.
Creamery Austin.
Cold Stone.
Oddsocksofficial.com. Bam!